What you are about to hear is not casual advice. It is a shift in how you walk, speak, think, act, a shift in how you interpret your circumstances and how you command your future. Most men never grasp this until it's too late. Your life bends to your assumptions. The way you expect things to unfold is usually the way they do unfold. Not because of fate, but because of focus. Your dominant thoughts pull circumstances into alignment. They shape how you act, how you speak, how you persist or retreat. So let me ask you, what if you assumed right now that everything is working out for you, even when it's hard, even when it's silent, even when there is no proof yet? What if you lived as if the outcome were certain, as if the door were already open and all you had to do was walk through it? That is not wishful thinking. That is mental engineering. And it is the method the greatest minds in history used long before psychology ever gave it a name. They rose through failure, criticism, and fear. Henry Ford didn't hope things would work out. He decided they would. He poured belief into the unknown long before the world believed it was even possible. When everyone said the automobile was a fantasy, he built factories. Thomas Edison didn't doubt after the 100th or the 10,000th failed prototype. He assumed success was inevitable. He didn't need to see it. He carried it in his mind. He acted as if the result already belonged to him. Charles Schwab didn't operate from fear. He operated from faith in his vision, a faith so powerful, entire steel empires bent toward it. His certainty made other men follow. And Andrew Carnegie, the man who reshaped industry and wealth in America, he didn't ask, what if this doesn't work? He moved as if the results were already secured. That energy builds legacies. So why not you? Why not now? Why not today? You've spent enough time worrying, enough time hesitating, enough time telling yourself stories rooted in fear. Now it's time to flip the script. Because the version of you that hesitates, that overthinks that, shrinks when life gets loud, cannot coexist with the version of you that walks in certainty. You cannot serve two minds. One must die. So today I hand you a new frame, a new filter, a new standard. Act as if everything always works out. Not because it's guaranteed, but because it makes you unstoppable. When you assume success is inevitable, you move with courage, you speak with authority, you command your life instead of negotiating with it. This isn't a video. This is a reset, your new operating system, and it must be repeated not once, not twice, but daily, until your subconscious accepts this certainty as law, until doubt withers in the presence of your calm. Because fear cannot survive where faith is present. And the moment you live in alignment with the assumption that the outcome is secured, you destroy fear at the root. So listen with intensity. Speak these truths aloud. Let them enter your nervous system like fuel. Because what we are doing next isn't motivation, it is reprogramming. And by the end of this hour, you will not think the same, you will not move the same, you will not be the same. Let's begin. Let's start with a question powerful enough to rewrite your entire life. What if it all works out? Not just the easy things, not just the comfortable wins. All of it, the setbacks, the delays, the pain, the silence, the detours, the moments that made no sense. What if every piece of the struggle is building the exact version of you required for the dream you've been asking for? Most people never live in that possibility. They live in worry. They wake up bracing for failure. They rehearse worst-case scenarios. They expect betrayal. They wait for the bottom to fall out even when life is rising. And because of that expectation, they unconsciously direct their energy toward what they fear instead of what they want. But there is another way to live, a way that doesn't require hype, doesn't require perfection, doesn't demand that you have everything figured out. It requires only one thing: believe before you see. The truth, belief isn't a reaction. Belief is a choice, and that choice directs the energy of your mind. The subconscious doesn't argue, it doesn't debate, it accepts what you feed it, and it builds around that assumption. If you say, nothing ever works for me, your subconscious says, understood, and suddenly your world filters itself through that lens. That's what you notice. That's what you expect. That's what you attract. Not because of magic, but because you stopped looking for anything else. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine waking up, no matter the circumstances, with this quiet command running in the folks' background. Everything is working out for me. Even if you're broke, even if you've been betrayed, even if the path isn't clear yet, you move as if it's happening. You execute as if the doors are already opening. You build as if the foundation is already solid. That belief, practiced daily, rewires your entire life. When you assume things are working in your favor, you become calmer under pressure, more patient in the waiting, more powerful even when the evidence isn't there. This is not delusion. This is leadership of self. Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not just perseverance. That's a man who assumed the light bulb was already his. It was just a matter of time. He didn't ask, what if this never happens? He asked, what else can I try? Because he knew it was coming. That mindset separates the man who folds after 3 setbacks from the man who becomes a legend. Henry Ford, when investors laughed at the idea of a car for the common man, he didn't argue. He didn't shrink in fear. He moved forward like the world was wrong and his vision was already done. This isn't arrogance. This is assumption with discipline. The decision to act as if it's already happening. The weak wait for proof. The powerful move as if proof already exists. That mindset removes the need for validation. It replaces panic with posture. It installs a new law in your mind. The outcome is certain. I just haven't arrived yet. So let me ask you again, what if it all works out? What if the delay was divine? What if the betrayal was protection? What if the confusion was construction? What if the thing you call a setback is actually the exact detour you needed to meet the version of yourself that can handle the dream? Once that assumption becomes your default, you stop fearing the unknown. You welcome it. Because the unknown is not the enemy, it is evidence that something bigger is forming. Your only job, keep moving. Build when it's boring. Lead when no one's clapping. Act like the outcome is locked in, even if the scoreboard says you're losing. The scoreboard doesn't measure spirit. It doesn't track faith. It cannot see what's building behind the scenes. Only you know. Only you know how deep this decision goes. Say it now. I live as if everything is working for me. I don't panic. I prepare. I don't beg for signs. I build in silence. I will not fold because I've already decided the ending. This is not mindset fluff. This is mental warfare. It is the choice to walk through chaos with order in your mind. Because once you decide how this ends, you don't flinch at the middle act. Act as if everything works out, and soon it will. Because what the mind accepts, the world starts to mirror. There is one quality above all others that separates the drifter from the builder, the lost from the locked in, the man who watches life happen from the man who shapes it. Definiteness of purpose, a clear, unwavering, unshakable aim. A target burned so deeply into your subconscious that it becomes impossible to ignore, even in silence, even in failure, even in doubt. This is not a vague dream, not a list of goals, not a wish list typed at midnight and forgotten by morning. This is purpose written with fire, carried with discipline, protected with your life. Without purpose, your energy scatters. Your hours are stolen by distraction. Your focus hijacked by the next shiny thing. You chase a dozen paths and master none. You build halfway and walk away. You mistake movement for momentum, activity for achievement, noise for direction. But when you become a man with definiteness of purpose, your path narrows. Your vision sharpens. You stop waking up wondering what the day will bring. You start commanding the day to deliver what you've already decided. That is power. That is the beginning of transformation. Look at every man who changed history. Henry Ford didn't aim to be wealthy. He decided to revolutionize transportation. Charles Schwab didn't dabble. He knew his purpose and carried it with clarity so magnetic, others followed. Abraham Lincoln didn't drift. He made a decision so clear that not even a divided nation could shake it. And now you need that clarity, a final decision, a line in the sand, a sentence so alive in your bones that your mind orbits it every single day. Do you know your purpose? Do you know without a doubt what you are here to do? Because if you don't, no strategy, no system, no motivational video will save you. Your progress will be temporary. Your habits will collapse under pressure. The one thing that holds it all together is your why, your decision, your purpose. So write it down. One sentence, not 10, one. Who must you become? What must you give? What is the result your life demands? Not because it's easy, but because you decided it matters more than anything else. That is your purpose. Read it aloud every morning. Write it by hand every night. Don't wait to feel inspired. Rehearse it until it replaces every other thought. This is the foundation of all confidence, to wake up and know where you're going. You don't compare, you don't scroll, you don't flinch. Your steps are already assigned. Everything you do, the food you eat, the books you read, the habits you install, the words you speak, the risks you take, it all bends toward one thing, your definite purpose. From that place, decisions become easy. Clarity becomes your compass. Time bends in your favor. The universe, your mind, every atom of your being conspires around one thing, completion of the mission. Without purpose, even the best habits drift. Even the strongest man falls. Even the most brilliant mind chases what doesn't matter. So write the sentence. Etch it into your soul. This is not for someday, not when life calms down. This is the day you stop drifting like a leaf in the wind and start moving like a builder with orders from within. Say it now. I know my purpose, and I follow it without apology. I no longer wait for clarity. I generate it. My energy is sacred, and my direction is locked in. This is how empires begin, not with noise, but with one decision burned so deeply into a man's spirit that even time itself bends in his direction. If you haven't made that decision yet, make it now. The clock is still running. Your focus hasn't been. You have work to do. You have power to build, and none of it will happen without purpose. Faith is not something you wait for. It is not a gift from the sky. It is not the result of hope or circumstance. Faith is built brick by brick, act by act, thought by thought, until you stand in something so strong, so stable, that even your doubts must bow before it. Here is the truth most men never understand. Faith is not emotion. Faith is repetition. It is the byproduct of consistent, disciplined belief, spoken aloud, written, and lived. Faith is not found. Faith is forged. You do not wait for evidence. You become the evidence. The mind does not believe what is true. It believes what is repeated. That is why so many men believe in failure. They rehearse doubt. They imagine disaster. They align their actions with fear. And then they wonder why faith never arrived. You cannot rehearse weakness and expect strength. You cannot marinate in hesitation and expect certainty. Faith, like muscle, is earned. It grows under resistance. It is built by following through, especially when it is hard. This is why autosuggestion is not a game, it is a gateway. It is deliberately feeding the mind the identity you have chosen, not the one you were given, not the one they labeled you with, but the one you designed. Do not casually consume advice. Do not hope a video changes you. Repeat it. Study it. Speak it back. When those words grow louder than doubt, something extraordinary happens. You start to believe yourself. That is the root of personal power, knowing that when you speak, your subconscious listens. Begin each day with command, not confusion. Speak the script of the man you are becoming, not because it sounds good, but because it writes new grooves in your mind. Those grooves will become the path your feet walk. Thomas Edison did not succeed because he felt inspired. He succeeded because his faith in the outcome exceeded any failure 10,000 times. He tried. 10,000 times he found ways that didn't work. But he never called them failures. His faith was anchored. He had already seen the light before the world did. Every act, every reset, every moment of fatigue, another layer of belief. John D. Rockefeller did not rise by luck. He trained his thinking like a man trains for war. He believed in systems, structure, certainty. He built wealth in his mind before he built it in the world. You must do the same. See yourself follow through. Imagine yourself moving with power. Speak to yourself like a general giving orders to a loyal army, with calm, with clarity, with conviction, because your subconscious is always listening. Every word whispered, every phrase repeated, either builds faith or breaks it. Ask yourself, are you speaking power or poison? Are you reinforcing courage or conditioning cowardice? What you repeat becomes real. Faith is not loud. It is silent, grounded, steady. It is built in the dark, when you show up despite your feelings, when you say, I will, and follow through without applause, when no one is watching and you move anyway. Abraham Lincoln led a nation through fire this way. He was not the loudest, not the most popular, but his belief in the vision was unshakable. No critic could touch it. When faith becomes unshakable, action becomes automatic. You no longer try to rise, you do. You no longer wonder if you are ready, you move. Results multiply, not by chance, but by design. Here is your instruction. Write your chief aim. Read it aloud every morning and night. Visualize it with emotion. Speak your identity as fact. I am focused. I am disciplined. I act with purpose. I do not flinch. This is not theory, it is practice. Practice long enough, and the man of doubt, fear, hesitation fades into dust. The man of faith rises today, not someday. Every man reaches a moment of no return, a decision so final, so absolute, there is no path back. Burn the bridge. Remove all exits. Remove all fallback plans. No quiet excuses whispering, if this doesn't work, I can always go back. That man is gone. You cannot build a new life while clinging to the old one. You cannot win with your eyes on the rearview mirror. Charles Schwab didn't become president of Carnegie Steel by playing it safe. He was not the smartest man in the room. He was the most decided. He carried himself like a leader before the world saw it. He aligned his speech, his tone, his energy with the man he intended to be. He closed the door to mediocrity. This is what it means to burn the bridge. It is not symbolic, it is strategic. Remove the option to quit. Activate the part of your mind that must win. Andrew. Carnegie demanded obsession from his men. A divided mind is a defeated mind. You cannot serve two identities, the man you were and the man you are becoming. One must die. Delete the contacts that drain your focus. Clear the space that reinforces old habits. Stop visiting mental corners where doubt lives. Destroy the comfort that whispers, you're fine where you are. Comfort is a liar. Greatness begins when you close the back door and move forward with fire. Henry Ford bet everything on the assembly line. He didn't ask permission, he decided. In that decision, failure became impossible. You will be tempted to look back. The old voice will sound reasonable. It will offer comfort. Kill it. Do not entertain it. Replace it. Speak louder. I act from decision. I move because this path is mine. I move because the bridge is gone. This is where the edge is formed. Now, you do not need emotion to move. You do not need motivation. You move because the only direction is forward. Thomas Edison didn't hope for a breakthrough. He decided there would be one. 10,000 failures, never a thought of going back. Why? No bridge, no alternative. Adopt the same mindset. Burn plan B. Eliminate the what if. Live as if this is your only shot, because it is. Discipline has flirted with you long enough. Greatness has danced with you long enough. Now, marry the mission fully. Once the bridge is gone, the fire rises behind you, and there's no turning back. Only forward, only execution, only evolution. No, man rises alone. No man becomes powerful in isolation. Discipline is forged in solitude, but acceleration is born in alignment. There is a force stronger than willpower, stronger than skill, stronger than ambition, the mastermind. You become like the minds you consistently align with. Your thoughts are shaped by your circle. Your energy is influenced by your environment. Your identity is forged in the company you keep. Look around. Who shapes your vision? Who do you speak to most? Those voices either build you or break you. The mastermind is not just a group, it is a mental alliance, a convergence of aligned minds moving with shared intention. To elevate, not distract. To build, not entertain. To sharpen, not soften. Seek it or build it. Find men who speak with clarity, move with purpose, understand silence, and live the mission. Align your mind with theirs. Multiply your energy. Compress timelines. Unlock ideas. This is not theory. Henry Ford did not build alone. Edison had a network of collaboration. Andrew Carnegie credited his fortune to the mastermind. Greatness is never accidental. It is forged, repeated, and acted upon. The mastermind, the force behind every empire, does not happen by accident. It is carefully chosen and deliberately built. Not everyone around you qualifies. A single weak mind can dilute the fire you are building. If a man does not feed your vision, he bleeds it. If he does not mirror your commitment, he distracts you. If he cannot see the future you are building, he has no place in its foundation. Rule: if you wouldn't trade places with their life, don't take advice from their voice. You are not obligated to carry the weight of others' confusion. You are here to build something different, sharper, clearer, higher. Form your mastermind by choice. Start with one aligned mind. One voice that sharpens, one man who speaks clarity over chaos, then another and another, until your circle becomes a system, a structure, a support so aligned that failure becomes difficult. Meet weekly. Speak with purpose. Share goals. Hold each other accountable. Replace maybe someday with declarations backed by fire. If you cannot find this circle yet, be it. Speak with authority. Move with conviction. Those who are meant to walk with you will rise to meet you or fall away. Do not chase approval. Do not attempt to convert drifters. Just build. Just move. Just live aligned. When a mind as sharp as yours joins another of equal fire, the laws of success bend. Paths become clearer. Results faster. Noise fades. This is the hidden power of the mastermind, the multiplication of your mission. Now ask yourself, who do I need to align with? Who do I need to release? Who must I become to attract the minds I want around me? Begin. One aligned conversation can change your life. One weak one can steal it. Choose wisely, and there must be belief. No man has ever accomplished greatness without first seeing it in his mind. You must believe. Long before the world gives permission, long before the applause, long before proof exists. Faith is not a luxury. It is the foundation of all transformation. You may think you need clarity to start. You don't. You may think you need resources, motivation, or support. You don't. What you need is a decision backed by belief, felt in your chest, moving your feet, speaking louder than doubt. Abraham Lincoln did not know how the war would end. He had no certainty in strategy, but he had faith in principle. Henry Ford had no map, no market, no approval, but he believed so deeply that the world bent to his certainty. Rockefeller built empires before the infrastructure even existed because in his mind it was already done. Edison, Carnegie, Schwab, none waited for evidence. They created the evidence by acting in advance. Fear waits. Faith moves and makes the proof appear. Which voice do you obey? Fear waits, scrolls, calculates, hesitates. Faith builds, faith acts, Faith moves anyway. This is not positive thinking. It is the law of the mind. Your subconscious responds not to truth, but to what is repeated, felt, and believed. Repeat fear and your life patterns protection. Repeat belief and your life patterns creation. Speak it, feel it, install it. Repeat it until it is your identity. Speak, I act with faith. I do not wait to feel ready. I know who I am becoming. I move accordingly. Belief is also motion. Act like you believe, because action reinforces belief. Every time you follow through without evidence, show up when it's hard, keep your word in private, you build a new identity. Belief precedes performance. You cannot outperform the image you hold of yourself. What are you rehearsing daily? What identity are you speaking into existence or avoiding out of fear? Certainty is the measure of success. You cannot fake it. You must forge it. Daily rehearsal, repetition in the absence of proof. Every morning, speak your vision. Every evening, reflect on your actions. Every hour, refuse to betray the man you said you would become. Fear does not vanish, but faith grows louder. Doubt does not disappear, but your decisions override it. Eventually, belief becomes undeniable, and so do you. Decisiveness separates the builders from the drifters. Indecision preserves the old self. The longer you wait, the louder the doubt. Each hesitation compounds, almost starts. Nearly finished goals, wasted energy. Train yourself to decide fast and change slowly. Henry Ford made final decisions, forged in fire, even when engineers said it was impossible. Schwab rose not because he was smarter, but because he was decisive. Andrew Carnegie built empires through one goal, one mission, one purpose chosen with finality. Until you decide, the world assigns your roles. When you decide, the world rearranges around you. Decision creates identity. Indecision preserves the old self. Burn the bridge. Remove Plan B. Make one powerful decision today and never revisit it. Fitness. Business. You're becoming. Decide now. When doubt creeps in, do not listen. Your decision is already made. Thomas Edison didn't ask the light bulb for permission. He decided and pursued 10,000 attempts. You need that resolve. Each decision backed by purpose builds your internal spine. Storms lose their power. Life cannot move a man who has decided. Abraham Lincoln faced a nation at war, yet he moved methodically and with finality. Your personal resolve shapes the future. What decision have you been avoiding? What mission have you left negotiable? Draw the line today. I no longer delay. I no longer drift. I no longer entertain hesitation. Say it, write it, live it. From that decision, all other actions flow. Great men don't wait for opportunity. They choose. Choose with spine, with fire, with finality. From that moment, you become unshakable. There is a hidden law in every fortune, the treated law of compensation. You are not paid for time. You are paid for value. Value is determined by how far you are willing to go beyond expectation. The average man performs at the level of his paycheck. The exceptional man performs at the level of his potential. He becomes indispensable, irreplaceable. Reward becomes inevitable. Charles Schwab rose not because of education, but because of his attitude toward work. He gave more than he was paid for. Carnegie eventually paid him more than any steel man in history. Carnegie himself practiced this principle with almost spiritual devotion. Long hours, greater challenges, responsibilities beyond his title, not for recognition, but for growth. Growth positions you for opportunity. You don't get promoted by asking, you get promoted by becoming too valuable to ignore. The marketplace does not reward intention, it rewards impact. It does not measure effort, it measures value. Results are never accidental. They are multiplied for the man who consistently goes above and beyond. That is where you must live. In the extra mile, the unpaid hour, the unseen effort, the quiet improvement. Here's the secret no one talks about. The extra mile is the emptiest place, and that is why it is where all the power lives. Everyone wants to get ahead, but few are willing to give more than they're asked. Few wake up early without being told. Few deliver excellence when average is accepted. Few take ownership of mistakes that weren't even theirs. But the few who do, they rise. Thomas Edison did not stop when the world said enough. He worked relentlessly not to clock hours, but to produce value. Over 1,000 patents, invention after invention. Why? Because he focused not on reward, but on output. And reward always followed. You must detach from immediate return. If you only act when rewarded, you are enslaved by permission. But if you act from principle, from the law itself, you become independent of circumstances. You act not for applause, but because you are the kind of man who does more than required. And over time, the world catches up. Henry Ford didn't invent the car. He revolutionized the process. He built something better, faster, more accessible. He didn't stop at good enough. He pushed boundaries, he over-delivered, and the market followed. Success is not for the lucky. It is earned by the man who outserves, outimproves, outlasts. This principle applies not only to business, but to your home, your discipline, your mission. When you do more than expected, you become more than expected. You grow. You gain self-respect. You earn influence. You rise above competition without needing to destroy anyone. Ask yourself, where can I over-deliver today? What extra detail can I improve? What skill can I sharpen without being asked? What task can I complete better than expected? And then do it, not once, but daily, until excellence becomes habit, until your name becomes synonymous with certainty, because the highest currency in the world is certainty of execution. The man who always delivers, even when no one is watching, becomes the man always called on when it matters. Stop asking for more. Start giving more, quietly, relentlessly, without need for credit. Credit will come. Compensation will come. Recognition will come. But only if you build yourself into a man who doesn't need it. Say it aloud. I do more than I am paid to do. I am not average. I move with excellence even when no one is watching. Repeat it. Live it. Become it. The law is simple. He who gives more becomes more. He who becomes more will always have more. Strength, intelligence, brilliant plans, they mean nothing if your presence repels others. Influence is earned by energy, warmth, and clarity. No man rises alone. The man who knows how to move others willingly always advances faster than the one who tries to force everything. This is the invisible factor behind the most successful men in history. It is not manipulation, not charm. It is a pleasing personality, a cultivated energy that draws others near, multiplies influence, opens doors, and earns loyalty. And it is a discipline, not a gift. Self-awareness, emotional control, intentional practice. Andrew Carnegie built empires by making others feel seen. He listened more than he spoke. He praised more than he criticized. He mastered influence through presence, not domination. Charles Schwab did the same. Not a technical genius, but president of U.S. Steel, because of how he made people feel. He smiled, remembered names, made others feel important. Power isn't force, it is the ability to move others willingly. This is not about being fake. It is about refining yourself into someone whose presence says, this man is worth trusting. This man is worth following. Speak with conviction, not hesitation. Carry calm confidence. Show genuine interest. Be optimistic. Uplift others. Influence without argument. Persuade without force. Build bridges where others burn them. If you want power, become likable not for approval, but because people move faster for those they admire. Respect invites respect. Presence precedes persuasion. Remove the need to prove yourself, and you gain the ability to move mountains. Ask yourself, do people feel stronger after speaking with me? Do I make them feel valued, not through flattery, but attention? Do I carry calm authority or chaotic energy? The most powerful man in the room is not the loudest. He is the one others listen to when he speaks. Firm yet humble, clear, present, pleasing. Henry Ford. Consistent presence, calm authority. Both understood. You don't chase attention, you command it through. Character. Challenge yourself. Speak less. Speak with intention. Smile not as a mask, but as a message. I am in command of my energy. Move slowly. Speak clearly. Make others feel seen. Live so your presence inspires others to rise. Say this daily. My presence is calm, powerful, and persuasive. I make others feel seen, heard, and understood. I do not argue, I influence. Over time, this energy becomes magnetic. The world leans toward you not because you shouted, but because you built yourself into a man worth following. There is a law, universal and unstoppable, the law of increasing returns. The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. The average man says, I'll give more when I get more. The builder says, I'll give more now, let the rewards find me. And they always do. Andrew Carnegie started poor, telegraph office, not asked to learn Morse, code fluently, not required to memorize rail routes. He went beyond the role, beyond the instruction, beyond the minimum, and the people in power noticed. Inevitably, the man who goes the extra mile becomes irreplaceable. While others perform duty, he delivers results. While others ask what he is owed, he asks, what else can I give? Life does not pay for hours. It pays for value. Thomas Edison knew this. Thousands of failed experiments, sleepless nights, obsessive focus. He gave everything first, and only then did the world hand him rewards. Ask yourself, are you doing the minimum only? Rising when someone's watching, only moving when convenient? The universe keeps score not of hours, but of initiative. The rewards may be delayed, but they are multiplied. Respect, trust, opportunity, leadership, wealth. Start today. Ask, where am I meeting the minimum? Where can I exceed the minimum standard? Where can I act not as an employee, not as a worker, but as an owner? Live the answer. Feel the resistance. Ignore the mockery. The rewards are delayed but inevitable. Say it. I do not ask what I am owed. I ask what I can give. I exceed expectations as a way of life. I am the man who goes the extra mile. Let those words take root. The man who lives by them never stays at the bottom for long. And remember, repetition is the language of the subconscious. Watching this once is not enough. Your old programming, fear, doubt, hesitation will dominate until a stronger loop replaces it. Feed your mind daily with power, certainty, and identity. Repeat the phrases that strike you. Memorize them. Speak them aloud. Let resistance rise. Speak louder anyway. Install a new mental software. Build an unrecognizable self. Close your eyes. Say it. I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. I am focused. I am certain. I am becoming who I was meant to be. Feel it shift. That is not imagination. That is neural reinforcement. That is your identity updating in real time. Multiply this by 90 days. Say it once. It's a spark. Say it every morning for 90 days. It becomes a circuit. Speak it until it's no longer words. It is your baseline. Until the message doesn't just sound strong, it is your voice. Here's the law. What you feed forms you. What you repeat becomes you. Don't let this message fade. Don't treat it like a video. Treat it like a ritual. Build your morning around it. Make it part of your environment. If someone asks why you keep playing the same message again and again, tell them, because I am not here to be entertained. I am here to be rebuilt. Your mind is programmable, always has been. The only question is, who is writing the code? From this moment forward, play it. Speak the words with fire. Walk into your day with certainty. Every time you repeat power, you weaken fear. Now, close this chapter. You've listened. You've absorbed truth after truth, not theories, but tools. And now comes the most important part. You walk differently. Not as the man who started this video, but as the man who has already become what he used to chase. You don't move like you're trying. You don't speak like you're hoping. You walk like it's done. That is the posture of a man with power, not because he knows everything, but because he knows himself. From this moment forward, you walk into the gym like the transformation already happened. You step into work like the breakthrough has already come. You make decisions like success is already unfolding behind the scenes. Because guess what? It is. Everything is working in your favor, but only if you act like it. Faith is not passive. Faith moves. Faith builds. Faith walks like the outcome is certain. This is not delusion. This is identity. This is alignment. Before this video ends, before you step back into the world, say it aloud. Spine tall, chest forward. I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. Everything is working in my favor. I move like it. Say it again, slower. Mean it. I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. Everything is working in my favor. I move like it. This is your identity script. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't need anyone to understand the fire burning in your chest. You just need to keep moving. The world rewards the man who moves with certainty. Not knowing, not explaining, certainty. You don't explain your decisions to those who haven't earned the right to hear them. You don't need permission to rise. You don't wait for a green light. You are the green light. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. From this moment forward, every action must reflect that truth. Move like the man who already has what he came for. Speak like the man whose voice creates results. Wake up tomorrow like momentum is already waiting for you, because it is. The universe responds to certainty. Life bends to belief. The version of you who used to hesitate, he doesn't exist anymore. Now you walk like it's done. Let them wonder what changed. Let them feel the shift. When you enter a room, let them sense the silence of presence, the kind of silence that doesn't come from not knowing, but from knowing too much to waste words. You've done the mental work. Now walk it out. Every room you enter, every action you take, every plan you make it as the man who already is. And if you ever forget, return to this ritual. Press play. Speak the words. Remember who you really are. This isn't just motivation. This is mental installation. You don't install it once.